What's the scoop on Aiyuk? Is Brandon Aiyuk expected to be a week one guy looking like the Aiyuk before, or is he behind schedule? What schedule is he on right now,
I,
Matt?
they've been kind of they haven't really disclosed what the timetable is. There he had the ACL and there's some other stuff in there, meniscus and MCL as well. So that kind of pushes back the recovery. Um, my guess is that when the Friars report to training camp, he'll be put on the PUP list. I would think that there's also a strong possibility he would start the season on PUP and miss at least the first 4 games, but that's I don't think they want to rush it with him and force him back out there. Then the question is, how long will it take him to get up to speed and get back to that form that he showed in 2023? So I would think that right now, when the season starts, the 49ers are thinking that they won't have Brandon Aiyuk on the field early on, but we'll see it. A lot of it will have to do with just what happens now. I know he's at the facility working out every day, so he's on a good track from that standpoint. But I would think that he's going to miss some time at the beginning of the year.
Interesting. Okay. And defensively, just the fact that Saleh's back as the DC, that's got to raise some boats and some hopes, right? In Santa Clara, Matt?
Absolutely. Yeah, no question about it. And, there are a lot of guys that they lost on the defensive side of the ball at the start of free agency. And, Robert Saleh was the guy they brought in, paid him a good chunk of change. And then it became kind of the Robert Saleh draft. The first 5 guys that they took were all defensive players. So there's going to be some new faces on that defense at pretty much every level. A remade defensive line with basically Nick Bosa being the only holdover. So Robert Saleh and that staff will have a challenge as far as getting those young guys up to speed and seeing if that defense can return to what it was prior to last season.
So I guess what we're just assuming, I don't know, assuming is the wrong word. Let me start again. So the idea, I imagine, there for the Niners, Matt, is McCaffrey's not going to have any issues in training camp, right? He's going to come in healthy. Ayuk's going to return healthy at some point, right? Ricky Pearsall, I'm not being glib about it, won't get shot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he won't have any setbacks there. Saleh will coach up the defense. A lot of bold-faced, names are gone. Trent Williams will be there. There aren't any holdouts. Guys are signed. It's going to be more peaceful and, for the lack of a better way, normal. And that alone will have the Niners in a better position this year than last. Is that the general sense there, Matt?
It is. I mean, and a lot of those things you said, kind of takes a leap of faith to think that, those older guys can remain on the field and get healthy and stay healthy. But if you look at the nucleus of the team, man, they still have star power. They still have star power at basically every position group. So that's the thought process. I know that the questions early on in the offseason were, is this a rebuild? Are they tearing it down? What are they doing? They haven't re-signed any of their own guys. They haven't gotten out in free agency and made any big strikes there. But when you look at it, they still have Purdy. They still have McCaffrey, Kittle, Trent Williams, Brandon Aiyuk at some point, Bosa, Warner, and, some pretty good players in the defensive backfield too, probably led by Diamador Lenore. So there is still talent on the team. But when you look at it, it's, they had the oldest team in the NFL last year. They'll be a little bit younger this year with all those rookies coming in. But a lot of pieces are going to have to align for this team to get back up there and be a challenger in the NFC.
So I guess last one for you here is what other pieces of business are there for the Niners? Have they checked all the boxes, Matt? Have they done it?
Pretty much. Okay. If you
Okay.
look ahead a year, Jawan Jennings is scheduled for unrestricted free agency after this upcoming season.
Mhm.
So that's somebody that they could look to keep an eye on and keep him around and maybe give him an extension. But with that wide receiver market and the year he had last year, that might be difficult to do. But I'd say right now, where they are in the salary cap, where they are with their roster, maybe a few pieces here and there, but I don't see that they have a whole lot to do between now and when the season begins.
How about that? So they can just roll the footballs out and start practicing and guys will be there. There's no conversations about when you're going to sign this guy. I mean, It's completely different from last year, and hopefully everybody remains healthy. Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.